We are in a divorce epidemic. It's just really important to understand that 70% of all American marriages are ending in divorce this year. This is a government statistic. The average length of the American marriage is 7 years. Second marriages are less successful than first ones. So you've got to figure out something that you're going to do. The reason that these marriages are not lasting is that they never really started. The couple never merged. The problem is that we never were given a marriage education. We're not given a divorce education. And that's what I offer clients as well. You can't possibly generate a beautiful unit, a merged couple, like the bride and the groom on the top of the cake. You can't even begin to create that beautiful future unless you create unity together, unless you have that ability to really join together. And that's the work that I do. That's what I teach. I teach people how to evolve. The skill sets I teach are 99% successful. If even one partner does this work, 99% of the time, I teach one client this work, and that's all it takes to regenerate a blissful relationship. So it's certainly worth the time to see if this is for you. This is exactly what I teach. I'm Susan Allan. This is my work. Today we're going to begin with compassionate communication. And this is a series of skills that allow us to deeply connect with ourselves so we really know what we're feeling and needing and can bring ourselves to peace no matter how angry we may feel, how scared we may feel, or even how sad we may feel. Here is what we're working with. Self-empathy. When we're not peaceful, the first thing we do is we observe it, we notice it, and we bring ourselves back to peace using self-empathy. Now you're with someone who's getting a little hot under the collar, or someone who's in grief about something, or someone who's really scared. Same thing. What am I observing that this other person is saying or doing or has said? What am I guessing the other person is feeling? What do I guess the other person's need is that's not being met? And so that's empathy. As we continue with this, then we get to this training that I've offered you, which is called Marital Mediation, which is based on compassionate communication, and it's also based on basic mediation skills, so that you understand what one partner's needs are. You certainly know what your needs are, so you have absolute clarity. So is there some situation that you'd like to talk about? And I think, Carol, this would be a good one for you. Is there something that you asked Richard, and you thought before anything came out, you said, I'm making a request, I'm not making a demand. But then when you saw the way Richard responded, it was confusing because, boy, he wasn't responding like he was a happy camper.
Well, actually, just something happened this morning on the way over here.
Beautiful. And do you remember more or less what you said?
Yes. He was the navigator, and he was looking at the directions, and we were lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let me see the directions.
Mm-hmm.
And he got upset. His buttons got pressed.
So you were feeling worried, concerned, whatever it is, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes after you got off the freeway. You didn't feel clear, you didn't feel confident, and your perfect strategy was to reread the directions yourself and to get real clarity about where you're going, which is perfectly reasonable. The only thing that was missing in this case was that neither of you, at this point, because you're both new to these skills, neither of you have the practice yet to just automatically go into empathy. The trick for you, and for all of us, is to notice the minute we feel uncomfortable. That is all about consciousness. The more that we're really here in the witness state, witnessing ourselves, knowing what we're doing, with whom, what our needs are, what our partner's needs are, really being present, you're going to find so much more peace. And it takes practice. So the very first person who was getting annoyed in the car was Carol. Carol was feeling concerned. She knew she had to be here at a particular time. She wasn't sure about the directions. So Carol, you were the first person who wasn't peaceful and happy. And I'm guessing that when Carol said, let me see the directions, she said, let me see the directions in a tone of voice that was a little bit different from the one that you used just now. She might have said it with more of a demand, more of an implication that she wanted to see the directions right now. And there were two opportunities. There was either an opportunity for you to notice that you were feeling triggered, notice you were feeling a little bit concerned. That's the perfect time to give ourselves self-empathy, calm ourselves down. So now you might phrase it in this way, and again, it's more about the energy. So you calm yourself down and you say, you know, I really appreciate the support, and I'm just feeling concerned. Would it be okay with you if I just stop the car for a minute and read the directions? I hope that wouldn't disturb you. Not implying any wrongness on his part. The most interesting thing about compassionate communication is as we keep practicing it, we keep adjusting the way we speak, we keep adjusting the way we hear, and so over time, and it does take time, you really get to the point where you can speak in a way that is authentic for you, because you no longer get upset about little things, and also compassionately communicates to your partner, who in your case has a number one need for peace. Let's try something a little bit different. So I'll be you, Richard. So Richard, let's hear if you're feeling a little irritated, and I'll be Carol.
Well, from this landmark, this particular landmark that we're going to, there's only one way to get there. So, Carol, we're on the right road. We're almost there.
Wow, I can imagine you feel really irritated that I'm not just letting you keep helping me, read the directions, and getting there in due course. I would imagine this is really frustrating for you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that's going on right now about the directions? Any other thought you have about it?
No, just the fact that I'm reading the directions, we're on the right course. Even if we maybe might pass the exit, we just come right back to it and get right back on the same course, and we'll be right there in a few minutes.
Thank you for letting me know that you feel absolutely confident that we're almost there. I'm wondering if you would be willing to consider something just to meet my need. I'm really feeling concerned about the time, and I'm not familiar with this area. Would it be a problem for you if we just pull over for a minute and I take a quick look at the directions? Would that
Not
bother
at
you?
all. Not at all.
Thanks.
Let's do that.
Thank you. I really appreciate the support. Thanks so much. So again, you can either be Richard giving Carol a lot of support and empathy and it all smooths itself out. You can be Carol giving Richard a lot of empathy and it smooths itself out. It just takes one, but it takes one. So when you leave today and you get back in the car, you're going to get home safe without any bickering.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay? And who's going to be in charge of a peaceful conversation that you're both going to have?
Richard. All right.
Perfect. It only takes one of you to create a peaceful relationship for the rest of your lives. And you've been elected. Thank you.
Thank you.
The benefits of the skills I teach are number one, peace. You can't have peace with somebody else if you don't have it with yourself. Merging a real, unified, intimate relationship. Great sex. You can't have fabulous, mind-blowing sex if you're not willing to be present with your partner, if you're scared. So we're back to peace again. Truly being able to speak your truth, self-expression. You can't have great sex if you don't feel safe enough to talk about your needs, your preferences. And you can't have great sex if you're not willing to hear what your partner's needs are and come up with a solution. Marital mediation teaches you how to do all of that. Herman Brain Domus is teaching you how to speak to anybody and have that person understand what you're saying and really not to judge them if they're not responding to you in the way that's your preference, the way you enjoy. And what is the benefit of peace? Long life, happiness. Isn't that what we're all here for?